Do you ever catch yourself chasing something? A new gadget, a promotion, a certain lifestyle, only to realize later that it didn't actually make you feel any happier or more fulfilled? It's a strange and frustrating experience. You finally get the thing you were convinced you needed, and instead of joy, you feel nothing, maybe even emptiness. And then comes the quiet question you don't want to ask. Why did I want this in the first place? Today we're going to explore a simple but unsettling truth. A surprising amount of what you think you want isn't actually yours. It's imported from social media, from family expectations, from culture, from the invisible crowd that surrounds you every day. And because those desires don't reflect your real psychological needs, they can never truly satisfy you. In this video, I'm going to help you understand how your mind gets pulled away from its authentic needs and how you can learn to tell real needs from borrowed wants. We're going to use a visual tool called the layers of motivation, a mental model that helps you see underneath your desires instead of being controlled by them. By the end, you'll be able to stop chasing goals that drain you and start moving toward the ones that actually make you come alive. Let's begin with the core conflict you face every day. Your brain evolved for survival, but your environment is designed for persuasion. Thousands of years ago, your needs were simple: safety, belonging, purpose, some sense of meaning. But today, you live inside a giant psychological marketplace where other people's desires constantly rub off on you. Every scroll on your phone, every conversation, every trend introduces new shoulds and musts that hijack your attention. You probably underestimate just how fast this happens. Humans are wired for social imitation because, historically, following the tribe helped us survive. Seeing others pursue something triggers neurons in your brain, the mirror neuron system, that quietly suggests, maybe I should want that too. But here's the twist. Imitating desires helped us survive physically, not psychologically. And now, in the digital age, this survival mechanism is constantly overwhelmed. To understand why this causes so much confusion, imagine that your desires are like the outermost layer of an onion. They're visible from the outside, easy to talk about, easy to list. I want to earn more. I want to be in better shape. I want this relationship, this phone, this apartment. But these outer desires aren't the real you. They're the surface layer. To find your true needs, you must peel back the layers of motivation underneath. The first inner layer is called adopted desires. These are wants that don't originate from you but come from the environment. For example, maybe you suddenly feel like you need to achieve a certain lifestyle because everyone your age is traveling or buying a particular brand of clothing. Or maybe your family subtly taught you that success means a prestigious career, so you chase it out of obligation, not passion. Adopted desires feel urgent because your brain is wired to avoid social exclusion. They often mask themselves as logic or ambition, when in reality they're forms of emotional conformity. The next layer down is the emotional needs layer, where things start to get more real. These are not material wants. They're psychological needs that often sit beneath actions you can't explain. The need for validation, the need for control, the need to feel safe, the need to feel worthy. When you chase something without knowing why, you're usually trying to satisfy one of these emotional needs indirectly. For example, buying expensive things might be a way of soothing insecurity. Constant achievement might be a way of avoiding feelings of inadequacy. Seeking relationships that look good externally might be a way of avoiding loneliness or uncertainty. Until you identify the emotional need behind your desires, you will mislabel the goal and chase the wrong thing. And then, at the deepest center of the onion, you find what we call the core psychological needs. These are universal to all humans. Autonomy, the need to feel you can choose your own path. Competence, the need to grow and feel effective. Relatedness, the need to feel connected and understood. Meaning, the need to feel your life has depth and direction. These needs represent your genuine internal compass. When your life aligns with them, you feel alive, energized, and grounded. When you ignore them, you feel restless, numb, or stuck, even if your outer achievements look impressive. The problem is that core needs are quiet. They don't scream for your attention the way adopted desires do. They whisper, and in a noisy world, whispers are easy to miss. Let's make this even more concrete with a simple example. Imagine you suddenly feel the urge to upgrade your phone. It seems rational. You convince yourself you need better features, a better camera, faster speed. But ask yourself, where did this desire originate? Why today? Why this model? Why now? If you trace it back, you might realize it wasn't your idea. Maybe you saw a review, a friend got the same model, or an ad subtly planted the seed. That's the adopted desire layer. But go a little deeper. What emotional need might be driving this want? Perhaps you're tired, overwhelmed, or stressed, and buying something new gives you a sense of control, or it offers a momentary boost of excitement, a brief break from emotional discomfort. And if you go deeper still, you might discover a core need that's being neglected. Maybe you're craving autonomy or meaning or connection, but instead of addressing it directly, you're reaching for a distraction. This is how the brain gets confused. You feel the discomfort of an unmet core need, but instead of recognizing it, you latch onto an outer desire that promises quick relief. It's like feeling thirsty but reaching for salty snacks instead of water. Not because it's logical, but because it's familiar. So how do you break this cycle? How do you learn to recognize your true needs beneath the noise? Here's where the layers of motivation become a powerful daily tool. Whenever you notice a strong desire, anything from wanting to change careers to wanting to buy something to wanting to impress someone, pause for a moment and run it through the 3 layers. First ask, is this something I genuinely want, or did I adopt it from my environment? If it suddenly appeared after scrolling or comparing yourself to others, that's a clue it's not fully yours. Then ask, what emotional need might be hidden beneath this desire? What feeling am I trying to create or avoid? And finally ask, which core psychological need is actually being neglected? Is this about autonomy, competence, relatedness, or meaning? Practicing this might feel awkward at first, but with time, it sharpens your awareness. You begin to see the difference between a desire rooted in who you truly are and one borrowed from someone else's narrative. And here's something important. You're not wrong or weak for getting confused. You're human. Your brain evolved to absorb cues from others. The goal isn't to eliminate all external influence. It's to develop the clarity to notice when influence becomes misalignment. Because when you align your actions with your core needs, something shifts. You stop chasing goals that drain you. You stop forcing yourself toward things that feel heavy. You stop measuring your life with other people's yardsticks. And you start feeling a deeper sense of authenticity, a quiet but powerful sense of being yourself again. When you understand your core needs, life becomes simpler, not easier but clearer. Decisions stop feeling like battles, possibilities stop feeling overwhelming, and the noise of the world loses its power over your inner compass. In part 2, we'll dive even deeper into practical tools you can use daily to decode your true needs, reshape your desires, and reconnect with the parts of yourself that culture often drowns out. But if you're already feeling the first sparks of clarity, hold on to that. It means your real needs are beginning to surface. Now let's go deeper into practical tools you can use to reconnect with your genuine psychological needs and stop being pulled around by the desires you never actually chose. Think of this as a kind of inner detective work. Your goal isn't to judge yourself for wanting the wrong things. It's to understand where each want comes from and what it's trying to do for you. When you learn to decode your desires instead of obeying them, you gain something incredibly rare in the modern world, a stable inner compass. And once you have that, you stop wasting months or years walking toward goals that were never yours to begin with. The first tool is what I call the 3-why descent. Whenever you notice a desire that feels urgent, whether it's the urge to buy something, change something about your life, or chase a new achievement, ask yourself why 3 times in a row. The first why usually gets you the surface answer. For example, why do I want a new job? You might say, because I'm not happy where I am. Ask again, why am I not happy? Maybe you say, because I feel stuck. One more layer, why do I feel stuck? Now you're closer to the core need. Maybe you realize, because I don't feel like I'm growing, which points directly to the core need of competence. Or, because I can't make decisions freely, which signals the unmet need for autonomy. The 3-why descent is powerful because your mind often stops at the first answer, which is almost always an adopted desire or an emotional substitute. Going deeper helps you discover the actual need beneath the impulse. The second tool is something I call the body barometer. Even if your thoughts get confused, your body rarely lies about your true needs. When you think about a desire, whether it's a career move, a purchase, or a relationship decision, pay close attention to the physical sensation it creates. Imported desires tend to create tension, tight chest, shallow breath, a sense of pressure or performance. Real needs tend to create expansion. Your breath deepens, your shoulders relax. You feel a quiet sense of alignment, even if the decision feels challenging. This isn't mystical, it's neurological. Authentic needs engage your parasympathetic system, the network that calms and grounds you. In contrast, Adopted desires often trigger social stress responses because your brain associates them with external evaluation. So the next time you're unsure whether something is truly yours, check what your body says. It's often clearer than your thoughts. The third tool is the 90-day reflection window. Many desires feel urgent only because they're reacting to something immediate. An influencer's lifestyle you just saw, a comment someone made about your career, a friend's new achievement. To cut through that noise, ask yourself, would I still want this 90 days from now if no one knew about it? This question filters out desires based on comparison, status, or image. If a want disappears when you remove the audience, it wasn't a real need. But if the desire remains, even when stripped of validation or prestige, it's likely rooted in something meaningful. The 90-day window helps you bypass the emotional momentum that external cues create and bring your attention back to what consistently matters to you. Now let's explore the fourth tool, the need-based action shift. This technique helps you replace the habit of chasing outcomes with the habit of addressing needs directly. For example, if you're craving a new hobby because you feel bored at work, the real need might be competence or creativity. Instead of buying new equipment or starting a new course impulsively, pause and ask, what would satisfy this need today using the resources I already have? Maybe it's learning one new skill, completing a small creative task, or having a meaningful conversation. Small actions that satisfy core needs are far more energizing than big gestures that satisfy outer desires. This shift helps break the cycle of constantly seeking external fixes for internal imbalances. The fifth tool is the to-list exercise, a simple but transformative practice. On one side, write things I think I want. On the other, write needs these desires might be trying to meet. For example, if you write, I want more social media followers, the need might be connection or recognition. If you write, I want to quit my job, the need might be autonomy or purpose. When you start mapping desires to needs, patterns emerge. You might notice that the same need shows up repeatedly in different forms. That means it's a core need you've been neglecting. And instead of treating the symptoms, new purchases, new goals, new projects, you can address the underlying need directly. This brings extraordinary clarity to your life because you stop confusing motion with progress. As you practice these tools, something subtle but life-changing begins to happen. Your desires become calmer, clearer, and more aligned with who you actually are. You start to realize that a surprising amount of what you chased was never truly meant for you. You may discover that the dream career you thought you wanted was actually a dream someone else planted, or that the lifestyle you believed would make you happy was really a response to cultural pressure, or that many of your goals were simply emotional patches covering deeper unmet needs. And when you start letting go of those borrowed wants, you free up an enormous amount of mental and emotional energy. Suddenly, there's space for your true needs to surface. Maybe what you crave isn't status but stability, not admiration but authenticity, not achievement but belonging. And when you begin to live from those needs, life feels less like a performance and more like a homecoming. Before we close, I want to remind you of something important. There is nothing wrong with having desires. You're not flawed for wanting things, changing your mind, or being influenced by your environment. That's part of being human. The goal isn't to eliminate desire, but to refine it, to learn which desires nourish you and which drain you. You deserve to build a life that reflects your inner truth, not one that looks good only from the outside. And you deserve to trust yourself again. The tools we explored today, the 3Y descent, the body barometer, the 90-day window, the need-based action shift, and the to-list exercise are invitations to come back to yourself. Use them regularly, even briefly, and you'll develop an intuitive sense of what is truly yours. Your genuine needs aren't loud. They don't compete with the noise of the world. But when you learn to listen, they guide you with a kind of quiet clarity that external desires can never replace. And if this video helped you take even one small step toward that clarity, consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to Mind Unlocked, where every episode is designed as a toolkit for better thinking and deeper self-understanding, so you can live a life aligned not with someone else's script, but with your own authentic mind.